Business Head, Gurugram and North India DLF Limited. With this Senior Living India's Silver Economy Surge. So we all know India is on the cusp of a major demographic transformation. According to estimate, the country's elderly population is expected to double by 2050, creating both significant social challenges and unprecedented economic opportunities as well. So for years, senior housing in India was largely associated with old age homes and assisted care facilities. But today that perception is rapidly changing. A new generation of retirees is seeking independence, community living, wellness-focused environments, and access to high-quality healthcare. So, in response, developers are launching premium senior living communities that
completely for India, because after a couple of false starts earlier, where there was a lack of social acceptance towards senior living, today the definition of senior, and I think it's a huge opportunity because this is not a cyclical market which other real estate cycles are. These are demographic based requirements. And we are starting from zero. I mean, there is hardly any supply. There's 1% penetration from what the numbers exactly are right now. So current demand is supposed to be around 18 to 20 lakh homes, and we have maybe in the organized segment about 20,000 homes. So this is a huge opportunity.
So Mr. Nishab, I have a question for you. Who is the typical buyer in India's senior living communities today? Are we seeing the retirees or the NRI parents or early retirees or say active seniors are looking to downsize?
No, so I think as mentioned earlier, the sector is at a very nascent stage in India. So from a typical, they're really trying to
salvage. I said salvage.
Yeah, to be proactive rather than reactive. And I feel that's a trend across all buyer profiles, whether it's, an NRI looking for their parents over here, whether the couple, because the kids have moved out and they don't want the headache of maintaining that, but at the same time, they don't want to compromise.
Rental yields of up to 6%, so which is comparable to some commercial assets. So, but is senior living emerging as a viable investment class? What would you say to that?
Challenges from a buyer perspective also. So talking about the developer or the initial perspective, I think it's also about the cost. Because land would be one, and it's also about when you're setting up a senior living, when you're talking about a typical residential project, add on with certain amenities which is customized and curated for senior living. So that includes certain mobility assisted things, so no steps for example, or there is so no slippage flows, so there is proper railings.
The core really is the service. As Vimal was mentioning, the core really is the wellness services you offer. When I say wellness, it is physical, emotional, mental, social, occupational, the entire thing put together. Because please remember, we're dealing with now a wide variety of seniors from 55 to 75. And their needs differ depending on age, financial circumstances, medical condition, right? And the community has to be able to offer care that grows with them. Right? So when you're 55, you're looking for more active, engaging lifestyle kind of offerings, but the moment you start to cross 65, 70, your concern is more healthcare. So I think the real core of any senior community is the wellness services that we provide. How do you look at aging, frailty, muscle loss, pill load, mental wellness, interest groups, hobby classes, cuisine, laundry. How do you handle end-of-life services as well? That's the unfortunate reality. So I think these offerings are now becoming more and more, popular across different, states. So I don't see an ultra-luxury segment in many, many cities. That the opportunity is there. There's a very interesting report by JLL which talks about 21 lakh units required by 2030, and as Tarun was saying, only 20,000 exist today. So the opportunity is just mind-boggling. There's a 7 billion only senior living, by the way. Forget about other formats of senior care. There's another 23 billion lying out there.
Encouraged several developers to launch projects. So, what lessons do you think you can take from that stage?
So, I think it's a huge plus for the Haryana government to have introduced this policy, and the policy is extremely current and catered to what is the need of the hour and of the market. Otherwise, there were these smaller pockets which are completely locked up, and so they've been released. And genuinely speaking, there is, tomorrow if an army colonel retires, where does he go? Unless they're all looking at societies, etc., clustering together for that sense of safety. But here is an opportunity where this doesn't, the current model of senior living development, I think they've largely taken care of everything. A little more, I think, will be how they're set up, because the minimum requirement of a 55-year-old primary member, and that's where the buyer questions are also around, that, if I'm buying for, let's say, my father, anybody can buy. As per the policy, anyone can buy. A primary resident has to be minimum 55 years at all times.
Now they are at 60, 70, and they don't want to go there, obviously, because of the lifestyle and others. So they were able to adapt to this community living very fast, because they understood that cooking is no more required as a very essential protocol like the earlier generations. And definitely that paved a lot of way in Coimbatore initially, then got spread to Tamil Nadu, and then slowly to Bangalore. Bangalore, the majority of the reason it's getting developed very fast for the last few years is the connectivity and the IT opportunity what people have got and settled. But now after COVID, post-COVID, there is a lot of awareness in the market. As he rightly said, it is not required anymore for people to think whether I should buy it for a necessity or whether I should possess one or not. So today everybody knows that community living is much, much better, and supporting each other over the last, I will not tell last, that joint family concept is still there.
I was just about to say
that. It's a generational people stay together and support. Yes, we did had it in South, but now slowly diminishing. But I think now everywhere.
No, I think more and more it's about independence and convenience as well. So family is there, but social structure of the North, because North has a lot of business families as well, and
You need to move out. Please give them a community where they will enjoy more, rather than they being landlords and trying to manage a small office of one driver, two nurses and 3 servants, etc. So that should not be in their head, is what we feel.
Yeah. So Mr. Anil would want to understand that what cities beyond Gurugram are likely to emerge as a major senior living destinations over the next decade. What do you think is your say on it?
Around Gurgaon, there is Sohna, which is very well connected through an elevated road, and very less polluted compared to Gurgaon, very less travel time. I mean, you can reach to Medicity in 20 minutes from Sohna. You are connected with the airport, Mumbai Expressway is there, a hilly feel is there, and infra-wise also, all sectors are on highways. I mean, modern infra, you can see there are no.
Again, Coimbatore become important hubs for the retirement living.
So, requirement of senior living is of different kinds. The people who are spiritual and someone who want to go in a very low density town, they will definitely choose tier 2 cities. Someone who is like very religious will go to Vrindavan, they'll go there. And Dehradun, of course, that is becoming a hub for that. There are 3-4 products already there. Mr. Mehrotra, pioneer of senior living, they started from there. So,
In a younger country, senior people in that age bracket of 60 plus is definitely going to double up and move up to say about 20,000, 30,000 units right now are supply. This is organized supply which we are talking about. And our estimates say that the relevant demand for this segment itself is at about close to 18 to 20 lakh. Itself, there's a big gap right now. And this organized segment, this supply, this demand would move easily up to close to 20-30 lakh units by say 2030, and supply is going to increase definitely, close to about a lakh unit or something. So, but still that shows there's a significant gap. So this itself talks about the gap and the potential which is there. So that's one in terms of numbers, wherein we are talking about that top 1% who can probably afford a premium senior living care in a certain price segment. Other than that, I'm sure if there are segments entering into mid-segment or I wouldn't say affordable, upper mid, lower than premium, so the potential still exists and it will be still higher. So that's one part of it. The other thing is obviously we have spoken about the geographical distribution. So South still dominates. Again, shows that there's significant.
Silver seems to be better. Okay, so I'll just take the last question and Mr. Ranjit Mehta, please. If you had to identify one policy reform and one market trend that will shape the future of senior living in India, what do you think that would be?
I think one policy framework would be really classifying this as an infrastructure sector. And I think the market trend which will catch up is intergenerational living. Because we got the feedback from many seniors saying we want to see life around us, not only old people. And that's why we began our first project in Gurgaon. That trend, if it catches up, then I think the proliferation of senior living units will be much faster.
So thank you so much. I think we had a wonderful audience as well, and
Thank you.
obviously amazing.